Nestled in the heart of California, shrouded in an eerie history, stands the Winchester Mystery House. A Victorian mansion of sprawling design, its labyrinthine halls whisper tales of tragedy and terror. The house, a monument to the inexplicable, is a chilling testament to one woman's descent into a world beyond our own. Visitors and caretakers alike have reported strange occurrences within its walls, unexplained noises, fleeting shadows, and an overwhelming sense of dread. It is a tale that can only be pieced together through whispers and legends, through the chilling accounts of those who have dared to step inside. At the heart of this unsettling mystery lies the enigmatic Sarah Winchester. A woman of immense wealth and shrouded in sorrow, she became both the architect and the prisoner of this architectural anomaly. Born into privilege, Sarah's life took a tragic turn with the untimely death of her husband, William Winchester. Seeking solace and answers, Sarah turned to the spiritualism movement that was sweeping the nation. It was during a seance that she claimed to have received a message from beyond the grave. The message, she believed, came from the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles. Driven by grief and guided by the whispers of the beyond, Sarah embarked on a project as peculiar as it was ambitious. Thus began the relentless 38-year construction of the Winchester Mystery House. The Winchester Mystery House is a labyrinth of architectural oddities and unexplained phenomena. Doors open to blank walls, staircases lead to ceilings, and windows look out onto other rooms. Some believe that Sarah Winchester designed the house to confuse the spirits, trapping them in its endless corridors. The mansion's strange energy and unsettling history have made it a magnet for paranormal investigators and curiosity seekers alike. Stories abound of unexplained noises, cold spots, and shadowy figures glimpsed in the periphery. Is the Winchester Mystery House truly haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles? Or is it the lingering grief and madness of Sarah Winchester that continue to cast a shadow over the mansion? Sarah Lockwood Pardee was born into a world of privilege and comfort. In 1862, Sarah married William Wirt Winchester, the son of Oliver Winchester, the man behind the Winchester Repeating Arms Company. William, a successful businessman in his own right, adored Sarah. The young couple settled into a comfortable life, their future bright with promise and the expectation of a family of their own. However, fate, it seemed, had other plans for Sarah Winchester. The success of the Winchester Repeating Arms Company, built on the production of rifles, cast a long shadow over their lives. Little did she know that this internal conflict, this struggle with the ethics of their prosperity, would pale in comparison to the tragedies that awaited her. Tragedy struck in 1866 when Sarah and William's daughter, Annie, succumbed to a mysterious illness just weeks after her birth. The loss of their child shattered Sarah's world, plunging her into a deep and inconsolable grief. In 1881, William himself succumbed to tuberculosis, leaving Sarah a widow at the age of 44. The loss of her husband, the love of her life, and her anchor in a world that had grown increasingly dark, proved almost too much to bear. Sarah was consumed by guilt and despair, haunted by the belief that her family was cursed, a punishment for the lives taken by Winchester rifles. She sought answers, solace, anything to alleviate the overwhelming sense of doom that enveloped her. In her desperation, Sarah turned to the burgeoning spiritualist movement. She consulted a renowned medium in Boston, seeking guidance and answers from beyond the grave. The medium offered a solution, a way for Sarah to appease the angry spirits and escape the curse that plagued her family. She was to leave her home in New Haven and travel west, to a place where she would feel a pull, a sense of belonging. In 1884, Sarah Winchester arrived in San Jose, California, a place vastly different from the refined East Coast society she knew. Drawn by the promise of a new beginning, she purchased a sprawling farmhouse surrounded by orchards. Guided by the words of the Boston medium, Sarah embarked on a project of unprecedented scale and peculiarity. She envisioned a home unlike any other, a sprawling mansion designed to appease the spirits that haunted her. Construction began immediately, a whirlwind of activity that would continue almost without pause for the next 38 years. The house became a physical manifestation of Sarah's tormented psyche, a labyrinthine reflection of her grief and her desperate attempts to find solace. The Winchester Mystery House became a hive of activity, its construction a 24-hour spectacle that captivated and bewildered the locals. The house grew at an astonishing rate, its sprawling design defying logic and convention. Stories of the house's oddities spread like wildfire. Some whispered that Sarah's erratic design was a deliberate attempt to confuse the spirits, trapping them within the mansion's endless corridors. The Winchester Mystery House became a legend in its own time, a testament to the boundless capacity of human obsession and the lengths to which one woman would go to find peace. As the house grew, so too did the stories of strange and unexplained phenomena. Workers spoke of tools going missing, only to reappear in impossible locations. Footsteps echoed through empty hallways, and disembodied voices whispered from the shadows. Visitors to the house reported feeling a strange energy, a sense of being watched or followed. The house, it seemed, had a life of its own, its very walls whispering secrets of a troubled past and an uncertain future. Deep within the labyrinthine corridors of the Winchester Mystery House, hidden from the constant clamour of construction, lay a room unlike any other. Known as the Seance Room, it was Sarah Winchester's sanctuary, a place where she sought solace and guidance from the spirit world. Here, amidst the flickering candlelight and the scent of burning sage, Sarah believed she could communicate with those who had passed, seeking their forgiveness and understanding. The Seance Room, with its heavy velvet curtains and air of hushed reverence, was a world away from the chaos of the ever-evolving mansion. A large, ornate mirror, its surface clouded with age, dominated one wall, believed to be a portal through which spirits could enter and leave the earthly realm. The Seance Room, with its aura of mystery and the weight of Sarah's grief, became a focal point for the supernatural occurrences that plagued the Winchester house. One chilling tale recounts the experience of a new maid who, unaware of the house's eerie reputation, found herself lost in its maze-like corridors late one night.
As she wandered through the darkened hallways, her heart pounding with a growing sense of unease, she noticed a faint light emanating from beneath a heavy wooden door.
The room, bathed in an ethereal glow, was empty, yet the air thrummed with an unseen energy.
As I stood frozen in the doorway, my breath catching in my throat, I felt a cold chill run down my spine.
As she fumbled to open the door, she heard it, a soft whisper, barely audible above the pounding of her own heart. Section 3. A Symphony of Shadows. The maid, her mind reeling from the experience, fled the room, her terrified screams echoing through the empty hallways. She burst into Sarah Winchester's room, her words tumbling out in a torrent of fear and confusion.
Sarah, her face pale but composed, listened patiently to my story, her eyes reflecting a strange mixture of sadness and acceptance.
"Do not be afraid," Sarah said calmly, her voice barely a whisper. "It is only the spirits, restless and seeking solace." She assured the maid that she was in no danger, that the spirits meant her no harm. But the maid, her nerves shattered by the experience, refused to stay another night in the house. She packed her belongings and fled into the night, leaving behind the mysteries of the Winchester house and the woman who seemed both captivated and tormented by its secrets. The stories of unexplained phenomena within the Winchester house continued long after Sarah's death in 1922. Visitors and caretakers alike reported hearing footsteps in empty rooms, doors opening and closing on their own, and the sound of distant music as if a ghostly orchestra were tuning their instruments for an ethereal performance. Whispers of shadowy figures gliding through the halls, their footsteps making no sound, sent shivers down the spines of those who dared to venture into the house alone at night. Objects moved inexplicably, as if guided by unseen hands, and cold spots, pockets of icy air that defied explanation, sent chills through even the most skeptical of visitors. Section 1. A prisoner of her own design. As years turned into decades, Sarah Winchester became increasingly reclusive, her world shrinking to the confines of her ever-expanding mansion. The once vibrant socialite, known for her wit and charm, retreated further into herself, her only companions the whispers of the spirit she believed surrounded her, and the constant hammering that echoed through the halls of her strange and wondrous creation. The outside world, with its noise and unpredictability, held little appeal for Sarah. She found solace in the familiar rhythms of construction, the scent of sawdust and paint a comfort amidst the uncertainty that clouded her life. The Winchester Mystery House, once a symbol of hope and atonement, had become both her refuge and her prison, a gilded cage of her own making. Days turned into nights, the boundaries blurred by Sarah's unconventional schedule. She would often wander the house at odd hours, her footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, a solitary figure, lost in a labyrinth of her own design. Servants, tiptoeing through the darkened halls, spoke in hushed tones of glimpsing her silhouette at the end of a hallway, her face obscured by a dark veil, her presence as fleeting and ethereal as the spirits she so desperately sought to appease. The house, with its endless additions and alterations, became a reflection of Sarah's state of mind, a physical manifestation of her growing paranoia and isolation. Rooms were built and then sealed off, their purpose known only to Sarah. Staircases led to ceilings, their abrupt ends a testament to the capricious nature of her instructions. Fear, once a whisper in the shadows, had become a constant companion gnawing at the edges of Sarah's sanity. She saw danger in every corner, heard threats in every creak of the floorboards. The spirits, once appeased by the constant construction, now seemed to press closer. Disembodied whispers followed her from room to room. To ward off the unseen forces, Sarah surrounded herself with rituals and superstitions. She slept in a different bedroom each night, believing this would confuse the spirits. 13 was her lucky number, a talisman against the darkness. She consulted astrologers and mediums seeking reassurance. Their pronouncements fueled her paranoia. The line between reality and delusion blurred, the whispers blending with her anxieties. The servants moved with caution and pity. They spoke of her in hushed tones. Sarah Winchester, the grieving widow, had become a prisoner of her own fears. Despite her growing isolation and fear, the construction continued unabated. The sound of hammers striking nails, the whirring of saws, and the shouts of workmen echoed through the house. The Winchester Mystery House, a testament to one woman's grief, continued to grow, its chaotic design reflecting her unraveling psyche. New wings were added only to be sealed off and forgotten. Towers soared skyward, their purpose a mystery even to the workmen who built them. The house, with its endless hallways and secret passages, became a legend whispered by the locals. Through it all, the hammering continued, a relentless rhythm that echoed through the years. The Winchester Mystery House stood as a monument to grief, obsession, and the thin veil between the living and the dead. The relentless hammering, a constant presence for almost 4 decades, fell silent on September 5, 1922. Sarah Winchester, the enigmatic mistress of the Winchester Mystery House, had breathed her last, leaving behind a legacy as intricate and perplexing as the mansion itself. With Sarah's death, the construction that had consumed the Winchester estate for 38 years ceased abruptly. The army of carpenters and craftsmen packed their tools and dispersed, leaving behind an eerie silence. The Winchester Mystery House, once a hive of activity, now stood eerily still, its sprawling structure casting long shadows. For within the labyrinthine corridors, the whispers persisted. '. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Today, over a century after Sarah Winchester's passing, the Winchester Mystery House stands as a testament to the enduring power of human curiosity and the allure of the unknown. Millions of visitors from around the world flock to its doors each year, eager to wander its labyrinthine corridors and marvel at its architectural oddities. The house, meticulously preserved, offers a glimpse into the mind of a woman consumed by grief and driven by an unshakable belief in the supernatural. Whether one views it as a monument to madness or a masterpiece of unconventional architecture, its enduring appeal is undeniable. The questions surrounding Sarah Winchester and her enigmatic creation linger unanswered and perhaps unanswerable. What drove her to build such a peculiar and sprawling mansion? Was she truly haunted by the spirits of those killed by Winchester rifles, or was she a victim of her own grief and paranoia? Did she find solace and peace within the walls of her creation, or did the darkness that she so desperately sought to escape ultimately consume her? The Winchester Mystery House, with its endless hallways, secret passages and staircases that lead to nowhere, remains an enigma. It is a place where whispers echo through the silence, shadows dance at the edge of perception, and the past refuses to be forgotten. The story of Sarah Winchester and the house that she built continues to captivate and intrigue, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are destined to remain unsolved.